Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. Welcome to the show. Here's what I have to say. If you are not using public speaking and video in 2025, you are leaving money on the table, period. The game has changed, and the businesses that win are the ones that master visibility. Yes. We are here on Speak Up, Sell More. Do your man a favor. Chime in. Let me see where you are, who you are. Go ahead and log in and chat and just share your name, etc. All the things. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, my words are just kind of tripping right now, but that's all right. Listen, at the beginning, here's what we want to do. We're still warming this up and getting this show moving. But today we want to chat about some ways that you can utilize public speaking and video, or why those two things are the key to your business growth in 2025. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out. Do me a favor. We want to make this interactive this evening. So as your comments come on up, I want to put them on screen. Let's see who's in the chat right now. I see you, Don Kirk Lewis. Glad you are here. Good deal. All right. Vic Story. What is going on? Tim Hines, my dude. What's going on? All right. Layman's Terms. Doug Lehman. What's going on, buddy? So glad that y'all are here this evening. And I'm glad that you took some time out for this. Do me a favor, if you have not done so, do me a favor. Tell your people about the show. Come on. Subscribe to the channel, first of all, and then, bam, share the show with a pal, a buddy, a friend, somebody that is needing to know about this stuff. And yeah, give it a like. All right, good deal. This is going to be fan-doggone-tastic. Hey, let's see who else we got in the space. We've got Kelly Gilberry from Houston, Texas. I like it. G. Anthony Graham. What's up, sir? How you doing? Good evening. Good to see you. Yeah, let's jump on in. So we're talking today about owning the stage and the screen. 3 ways that public speaking and video are your business growth superpower right here in 2025. So let's jump on in. So as I mentioned just now, I said, if you're not using public speaking and video in 2025, you are leaving money on the table, period. I don't care what your business is. If you are not showing up on video right now, especially if you've got a small business, if you are a business owner and you're doing it by yourself, you're a solopreneur, or you've got 2 people on your team, or maybe 3 people on your team, whatever the case is, if you are not showing up on video, you are leaving money on the table. Here's why. If they can't see you, then they can't pay you. Right? So some of us, and me included, we've gotten into the space where we're getting gigs, we're getting some calls, and we're doing those things. And because we're busy doing those things, we feel satisfied. Yep, business is growing. It's steady. It's growing. But did you know that if you were able to create visibility that has things happening for you on repeat, life would be much easier? Let me ask you in the chat, how many of you right now would love to have business on repeat? How many of you would love to be in a space where people contacted you because they are saying things like, oh my gosh, I see you all over the place. Oh my gosh, I've seen you on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, I've seen you on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I've seen you on YouTube. If you're not getting those statements, if you're not having people come up to you to say those things on a regular basis, then you're not visible enough. Especially now. We are in 2025, and I got to tell you, most of the platforms right now are optimizing their algorithms to prioritize video. LinkedIn being one of those. Here's why this matters. Here's why this matters now, because the algorithms, as they are prioritizing, they're prioritizing not just for you, but they're prioritizing for others. And so those who are on this video wagon early, they will be ahead of the game. The gate has opened. The starter's pistol has gone off, and they've started their run already. So you want to make sure that you're doing this, because trust is harder to build. And here's what happens. People buy from people that they feel connected to. I've had it happen where people have come up to me at an event and they're like, man, I feel like I know you. Oh yeah, where have we met? I don't know. I don't think we've met. And then we talk and they're like, oh, I've seen your videos. Yeah. So that's what this is. I'll share with you a story, and where we're going to connect video and money. I'll share with you a story. Let me stop for just a second just to say what's up to some people. Kelly Gilberry saying, indeed, love it. And I got my dude, JP High Tech. What's going on, dude? Hey, I didn't know you were a rapper, dude. Those of y'all that don't know JP High Tech, he is a Christian hip hopper, Christian rapper. Actually, he's much more than that. He is, and he's on Facebook right now. But JP High Tech, good to see you, man. JP is a master in the video and marketing game, and he's also going in, as the Lord has told him, to do his hip hop full time as well. So let's go, bro. I love it. I love it. Excellent. So let's jump back. Let's jump back in. So recently, or maybe a couple of years ago, I was called to submit some content for an event, or to submit some topics for an event. And one of the topics that I submitted two, and one of the topics was AI related. And I got accepted for the event, but then a couple of weeks later, the organizer for the event called me and she said, hey, we love your topics. We'd love for you to be here, but we feel like we've got a lot on AI. We don't want you to speak on AI. We don't want you to speak on AI. Here's what we want you to do. We were looking through your LinkedIn feed, and last November, they were specific. Last November, you posted a video and you were talking about how people can change their lives through doing ABC. And so I said, oh, okay. And they said, hey, can you do something on that for us? I said, sure. Here's the point that I want you to get from this. My audience told me what they wanted from me. My audience told me what they wanted from me. And the reason that they were able to do that is because I was on video, because they saw me online, because I shared something that resonated with them. Now, here's what a lot of people fear, right? A lot of people fear, okay, I'm going to spend the time, I'm going to put stuff on video, I'm going to get online, and nobody's going to see it, or a lot of people aren't going to pay attention. And I want you to get this. If I had that thought process, or if I'd let that thought process continue, because I don't want to act like I was this person that said, yep, let me get on video and I'm just going to get past the butterflies and the nerves and I've got it. I'm just going to turn the camera on, click, and go. Because that's not what happened in my space. What happened was I went through all the fields. And here's what happens. Here's what the fields are. You click record and you look at the little eye, or you look at the little icon, and to see how many people are watching live. And it's 1, it's 2, it's 0. Or it starts out with 8 and then it drops down to 2 and then it drops down to 1. And you're feeling like, oh my gosh. You're feeling like, oh my goodness. They don't like me. Yeah. I love what JP is saying here. JP is saying there is a difference between people paying attention and engaging with your content. People pay more attention than we usually think. Yeah. Yeah. You see, here's where we mistake ourselves, right? We think about ourselves watching a TV show, and we sit and we watch the TV show for 30 minutes, and we watch it until it's done. Now, with the streaming platforms, Netflix and whatever else you have, Hulu, you have the ability to pause and then come back to it. And we think about ourselves in that situation. And what happens is we're live streaming or we're creating video, and we see the number change or we see nobody. And we're thinking that, oh my gosh, if they're on and they left, that means they don't like what I have to say. That means what I'm saying is not good enough. What I'm saying is not groundbreaking enough. And so I need to change the game, or I need to change what I need to do. Now, there may be some truth to it, and I don't want to dismiss the fact that, yeah, you've got to up your game. You got to up your game. You can't just be complacent in business. If you're seeing data, if you're seeing behaviors, if you're seeing stuff happen, if you're seeing stuff happen, then you got to figure out what's the result that's happening. All right. JP saying, yeah, you're making me want to jump on. Yeah, JP, actually, if you want to jump on, let me do this. Yeah, I'll see if I can put it in the comments. If you want to stay around, let's talk about it in just a few moments. Let me see if I can just grab it here. I'm just going to grab the regular one. I'm on Ecamm, brother. Let me do this. I'm going to pop this in your Facebook profile. And if you want to hop on, let's do it. All right, everybody, hang on for a second. Just let me get this. This is live, y'all. This is not this is not messy. Oops, 1 second. Copy the wrong thing. This is not planned and scripted. So if you want to come on, JP, let me give you this link for fantastic. Okay, here we go. All right, check your inbox. Check your Facebook. Check your Facebook DMs. All right, fantastic. So people, here's what happens. We compare ourselves, or what we think are our behaviors, we compare that to other people. And we think, okay, people left, so what I'm saying is not important. What I'm saying is not groundbreaking enough, so that's why they're leaving. So yeah, there is some level of collecting the data and making sure that you're able to adjust based on your audience. But there's also what JP said. It's not just about them watching and participating and being there the entire time. They may engage and they may come back later. They may save it. They may share it with somebody, or they may just get information or a little bit of transformation or inspiration from a little slice of what you said. And that's all they needed. And then they left. And that's okay too. I remember several years ago, I went to a conference, and there was this session about podcasting. And I went into the podcast session, and I was there for about 15 minutes. And it was an amazing session. And while they were talking, they said one thing that I resonated with. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the one thing that I've got to take action on. This is the one thing that I've got to do something with. Okay, I need a little bit of hydration, y'all. I said, this is the one thing that I've got to do something with. And I got up and I left the conference, or I left the workshop, because I got everything that I needed in that moment. I got all of the transformation that I needed. The thing that I was questioning, the thing that I was doubting, the thing that I was looking for, I got right in that moment. And so I left. Because here's the other thing that happens to us. Sometimes we can suffer information overload. We can get everything. We can get all of the things, and then we do nothing because we got too many things. And that might be your audience, and that's okay, because that means they may come back later. But you've got a job to do. You've got a job to do, and that job is sharing the information. Now, we've been talking about streaming or getting on video, but I believe that the reason that you should do it's not about just getting on video to share your story. It's not just about getting on video because you're supposed to do it. I really believe that the best way to grow business, especially if you're a small business owner in 2025, is speaking and video as one of the stages that you're speaking on. Why do you think that YouTube is still the number 2 search engine? Why do you think that Sean Cannell and Think Media and some of these other gurus have been focused in on video, YouTube, as a space for business growth? And they're not just talking about, start a YouTube channel and hopefully you can get monetized. They're not just talking about start a YouTube channel and hopefully you can get the 4,000 watch hours and your 500 people now, or is it 1,000? I don't know. They've gone back and forth a couple of times. It is about using that for several reasons, for getting the SEO juice. It's about being on there to practice your skills. It's about being on there so that the information is online. Your IP is online in a space where your audience can access it when they need it, and you don't always know when they'll need it. So get online, speak, get on stages, promote the solution that you have. I'm not just promoting the solution, but opening the door by talking about or accessing the challenge or the problem, identifying and observing and speaking to the problem that your audience has. All right, so let's go to the chat for a moment here. Kelly's saying, it stings when you see those numbers going down, but I use lives to get more speaking reps. Abso-doggone-lutely. Yes, this is exactly what we're talking about, Kelly. It does sting a little bit at first, but then if you understand why you're there, if you understand why you are online, if you understand why you're in the space, if you understand human behavior, if you think about your own behavior, maybe you might get on Hulu or Tubi or Netflix or YouTube TV or whatever else it is that you watch. And sometimes you may binge watch for 3 hours. But the majority of us right now, here's what happens. We will scroll through our internet. We'll watch reels. We'll scroll through reels. And guess what? We're not always watching the entire reel. And those reels are less than 60 seconds. We're scrolling. Does that mean that you're not interested in every single reel? Now, here's what some of my behavior is sometimes, and I really look at minimizing my time on social media sometimes. But when I'm on, here's what I do. I tend to do. I'll get on Instagram and I'll scroll. I'll see a reel. I'll see something on AI, or I'll see something on financial growth or legacy. And I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. I like that. And I'll listen to a part of it, and then I'll click the little flag or the little drop down and I'll save it. And I'll say, yep, I'm coming back to that a little bit later on. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But my saving it or my clicking away from it doesn't mean that I didn't engage or wasn't interested in it. And so sometimes there are weeks where I'll come back, I'll see something. I'll look I use this app called My Mind. Let me see if I can find it. I use this app called My Mind. I used to use Evernote, but I use this app called My Mind. I don't know if you can see it on the right. There's that little orange man there. or I don't know if it's a man or whatever it is. It's clay. All right. But I use this app, and pretty much everything that I want to save, it's in there, right? So I'll go back and forth. Some of it is categorized and some of it is not. But whether it's categorized or not, I can always search it with the search bar at the top. So, for example, there's one that's creating a founding story for your brand, right? So look at this. Creating a founding story for your brand. And if you look at what this app does, down at the bottom, it's got a TLDR, and it says the content highlights the importance of sharing personal stories to build trust. Okay, so this app, and I'm kind of going left here a little bit, but I'm showing you how I operate. I was introduced to this app not the other day, but several months back by Michael Hyatt. And so because you've got AI, because you've got storage, this is a place this doesn't just save reels, whatever you want, but it saves pretty much anything. I've got, I want to look for, wrong screen. I want to look for suits. Check that out. All right. So then it's got the information about it. Yeah. So I use this app. Okay. Let's get back to the center. All right. So I use this app and I save the information into it, but I've engaged with and I've watched a video or 2 or 3 or 5, and I come back to it a little bit later on. So when you are online, when you have your video online, there are several things that happens. Okay. So let's start digging in here just a little bit. There are several things that happen. Now, when you are online, when you have a video, when people see you on stage or on video, people make certain assumptions. I don't know why, and I'm not going to tell you whether it's a good thing or not, but people make certain assumptions. The number one thing that they assume is that you know your stuff. They assume that you know your stuff. Why do they make that assumption? Well, let's look at my shirt. My shirt says, "Your biggest fear is how I make a living." This is related to public speaking. I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. And people see me speaking, and because it's something that they either haven't figured out how to do yet, or they're a little bit nervous about doing, they make the assumption that I figured some stuff out, or I'm ahead of them, or I know my stuff. Now, in some cases, that might be true. In some cases, that might be true. But in some cases, I may be just ahead of you. I may be just learning something. There have been cases where I've been on stage in a field or in a space that I'm not familiar with, or I don't know the content, but because I've studied how to MC or how to facilitate or how to moderate, I'm able to navigate or guide the conversation. And people are then surprised that I don't know that field or that information. But the other thing that this is proving what I'm talking about. When you're on stage or on video, people begin to make the assumption instantly that you know your stuff. Public speakers, video creators are perceived as experts even before they prove it, simply because of that fear factor. Simply because of the fear factor. People look and they say, oh, that person's in front. That person's got a microphone. That person's got a stage. And whether they prove you wrong or not later on, we make the assumption initially that they know what they're talking about. Right? So people trust faces and voices more than just text. All right. That's why a lot of people are looking to get on a TEDx stage. TEDx speakers are seen as leaders in the industries because they got on the stage, because they shared an idea worth sharing. Okay. I know quite a few people that became go-to experts in their niche because they started posting videos weekly. If you think about Eric Thomas, one of the top motivational speakers in the world, one of the ways that he became that was because he decided he was going to post his Monday morning, what was it called? Monday motivation, or thank God it's Monday, TGIM. And he was doing that. He stayed with that. And that's how he began to get more recognition. And that's how he got to a little bit more visibility. And that turned into speaking gigs. And that turned, yeah. All right. Let me see. JP says he's calling in. It keeps ringing. I don't see you yet, JP, but let me turn the interview on and off. And then let's see if it'll turn on. All right. There we go. I see you. There we go. Fantastic. All right. So I'm bringing in JP here. All right. But while JP is, let me assign him to a guest. All right. There we go. And let me change some stuff around here for a second so that I can get my man JP in the space. JP, what's going on, dude? How you doing, my friend?
Hey, family. What's good, brother? Good to catch you here. Impromptu
Yes,
live,
sir.
man. Great conversation. How you doing today?
Fantastic. Life is grand. So let's pause for just a second. Let me do these last two things on this list that I'm walking through, and then I'm gonna pop you right back up, and we're gonna walk through this together. So, all right. So your business growth strategies here. So when you are live streaming or when you're on video, people give you an instant authority and credibility. The second thing that happens is that your math begins to math. Right? What do I mean by that? It means that instead of you having to call hundreds of people one by one individually, instead of you having to send out postcards or sending out mails or sending out emails, when you sit in front of a microphone, when you're on a video, when you're on stage, a single speech or a video can reach hundreds or thousands or even millions. I want you to think about the TED Talks that you've seen, that people have seen millions of times. Do you think that one person could have emailed all of those people as simply and quickly and easily, right? So speaking, and then you stack video on top of that, it turns your one-on-one sales into one-to-many influence, right? And then the third thing that I want to share, I'm going to bring JP up in a second here. The third thing is people also, as a growth strategy, people like learning. So teaching what you know is an easy way to get on stage. Some of you may feel like, oh, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not good at speaking. Yeah, but you know something. You know something that other people either don't know or that they don't do that well. You take it for granted. You think it's just, it doesn't even matter. It's not groundbreaking. Doesn't everybody know this? I'll give you a simple example. I'm going to bring up JP while I share this example. Several years ago, my wife said to me, she's like, babe, I need you to search something for me online. I said, why do you want me to search something for you online? She said, because you Google better than me. I said, what? What do you mean I Google better than you? And she was like, you Google better than me. And I said, this is ridiculous. Come on, go get the computer. So she brings the computer and we sit down and she says, I'm looking for this. And I said, okay, well, type it in. And I watch her and she's typing certain words in to find what she wants. And sure enough, she put in some words that may have made sense to everybody. They weren't like left field, but it's just not the way that I would have done it. And so she put it in and she hit enter and she got certain results. And then I said, okay, cool, let me try it. I go and I put in my terms and sure enough, the results that she was looking for came up 1, 2, and 3. Right? And it was simply because in my mind works a certain way. I want to find information. My mind works in a certain technical, organized way, even before it gets through to my fingers to the computer. And so there was a skill, there was something that I took for granted that was gold for my wife. And almost all of us have something in our space that is gold that we can teach on the microphone, that we can teach on video. That's going to be gold for something else. Jump on in, JP. What you got? Tell me what you're thinking, brother.
Yo. First of all, man, I'm loving the series. Love the show. I know you had some amazing folks here, Tanya Smith and other amazing folks that I've been watching you, man. So Happy New Year. I know haven't had a chance to actually say that. But hey, man, this conversation is something that I deal with professionally, with other professionals that are experts in what they do, right? They're experts at, being educators, expert doing what they've been doing for the past 5, 10, 15 years. But when it comes down to leverage video to grow this thing, they find this blockage, this thing that's stopping them, right? Why am I passionate about this? For the folks that don't know, I have a best-selling author book that I wrote, right, that tells you how to leverage live stream to grow your brand. So this is something is all about speaking in public. And whenever we go live, we're actually stepping on stage digitally, and now we have the whole world. Now, one thing that I would say, I mentioned that earlier, people paying attention is completely different from people engaging with you.
That's right.
And so I always tell my clients and other professionals that are struggling with that, tell them, listen, the fact that you're the expert in this subject matter does not give people a reason to engage with you. It simply tells them that you're the expert in it. That's it. So our expertise, our skill, and our talents are not enough for people to want to engage with us.
Yeah.
Now, what are we supposed to do for people to engage with us? Here's the thing. Give them a reason.
That's it.
Give me a reason to want to listen to you. And that requires thinking outside the box, because here's the thing. Now you are doing the job of the marketer, is giving them a reason to be in the room with you. When they invite you to go speak, they already done the hard work, right? Yeah. You showed up, there's people there to speak, but here's the thing. They receive a reason. Now, give people that reason so they can come in and listen, I believe this is something I need to sit in, pay attention, and learn from. And that changes everything.
I love it. Let's jump to the chat for a second here. We got oops, the wrong thing. That's all right. We got my dude Kelly that is asking a question here. And Kelly's saying, does this mean when you're prospecting via email, you should send them a video with the email? Ooh. Okay. All right. So jump in, JP, and then I'll respond after. What are your thoughts on that?
Great question. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Whenever you decide to go live, then you got family and friends texting you, right? Great question.
Yeah.
We're in an era today where mediums are really powerful now. All kinds of mediums are available now, right? Things outside the box. Do what others are not doing in order to get the results others are not getting.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're asking me if you should send a video attached to that, I will ask you, why not? Alex Sanfilippo, right, a good friend of mine, said something that was powerful. We were all both speaking in Orlando at an event together, and he shared something.
Alex is what, Podmatch?
Podmatch, yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Podmatch, Alex Podmatch, right?
Yeah.
He said, listen, one thing that he loves doing is whenever he reaches out to people in DMs on LinkedIn, right? If you're not on LinkedIn, make sure business owners be there, right? He said when he reaches out, instead of just sending a text message, because if you're on LinkedIn, you get a lot of messages on one, DMs. And so most people are like, I'm not even going to read it. He said he sends a video message. And his opening stats tremendously exploded.
Wow.
Most people are more, attracted by receiving a video message versus a text message. And he said he works every single time.
Yeah.
And so if it works in DM, it's going to work in an email, because think about it. You're making the recipient feel special. And that's what I was talking about, giving them a reason. Whenever they feel that you are doing all of this specifically for somebody like him, or they're special to you, or they feel valued more than the average person, guess what? Now they want to give back by giving you their time, their attention, and by following and buying your product and services, because first you need to capture that, right? And that is what's important. Same thing like, capturing somebody's email when you have an email list to have someone subscribe. Why should I subscribe to your email list? What value are you giving me? And why should I exchange that? So now we're exchanging value. And I'm telling you, listen, if you give me your email, if you give me your time, this is what I've decided to offer you. And I've designed this especially for you because I've been in your shoes. I know what you're going through, and I have the solution straight up. And that's what makes people come in.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm going to jump another comment here really quickly. Vic is saying video is more engaging. There's more tech out there that can clip short segments. Less than 30 seconds of your podcast moments with highlights, key takeaways. Yeah, absolutely. And we can talk about some of those a little bit later on. Of course, we've got Descript, we got Opus Clip. Speaking of that, sidebar, I don't know if this is new or not, but as we do Ecamm, you know that Ecamm is sending stuff right to Opus Clip right away, man. You can just click a button, one click after that. So yeah, those of you that are Ecammers, send your stuff right to Opus Clip right away so you can repurpose. Awesome. All right. So let's ask this question here, man, because my goal with this, and we have our story speaking and sales growth community that we do our sessions on Tuesday evenings after this. And so if you want to get into that community, make sure I'll bring up the link a little bit later on, but go to learnwithrk3.com/3S community. It's all about helping small business owners, anybody who has a business, and maybe you're a solopreneur or you're 2, 3, 4, 5 people, but you want to figure out how to leverage speaking and especially video as a way to grow your business. That's what we're all about in that community. So I want you to join us there. So here's the question. So as a business owner, JP, what is, for somebody who's not familiar with video that much, or they might feel overwhelmed by the technology of it, what is the best place for them to start? And when I say start, not just, whip out your phone, but I whip out my phone and I record. What do I do next? Where do I post it? What do I do with it? How do I get views on it? How do I turn that action into revenue?
Man, what a loaded question, right? I'm gonna try to simplify this so that is easy to follow and easy to understand, right? Here's the thing. I always say hitting the record button is actually the last thing you do.
Woo!
Let me pause right there. Hitting the record button to record the video is the last thing you do. Let me give you a picture. Whenever you want a house, you don't start by the walls, putting the walls up, painting the house and all. No. You need a blueprint.
Yeah.
You must know what you're recording, how you're recording it, why you're recording, and for who you're recording it to.
Yep.
So first, you need a blueprint. And this is completely different from you practicing video presence. That's completely different. I'm talking about the blueprint, which has to do with your strategy of visibility. Do you have one? Guess what? Even ChatGPT can help you.
Yep.
For free. Okay. Strategy of visibility, the target audience. What are you talking about? Is it going to be a series of videos? Right? What type of videos are you trying to release? Because there are all kinds of videos today. So you choose one that, check it, aligns with the industry that you're in. And that's a mistake a lot of beginners that leverage video make, is they just record the video without taking the time to actually identify, listen, what category do I want to position my videos in? Is it going to be a tutorial video? Is it going to be a mini masterclass? Is it going to be a vlog type of video? Like, what type of video do I want to record? That will determine how you should be recording the videos, right? And how long the video should be. And also that will determine how effective it will be whenever you record it. Because now you know who you're talking to. And now you know how they will consume the video. Now, after that, determine what is your primary platform of distribution.
So let's pause right there for a second. Yeah. Let's pause right there for a second, because we got Ecamm, we got StreamYard, we got Restream, we got EV Mux, we got all of these, we got Be Live, we got all of these platforms, and people are saying, yeah, go live or create videos and push them out to all of the platforms.
Exactly.
Right. And some people I'm not getting any results, Robert. I'm not getting any results, JP. I've been doing, I've multi-streamed. I even put it on Twitch and I didn't get any results. JP, what am I supposed to do? So dig in for a second, because you said choose a primary platform. Why? What does that mean?
Oh man, this is so good. This is so good. This has to do with how you want to grow your business. Listen, family, it is a business. If you haven't figured that out yet, it is a business. Whenever you go live, you're growing a business. Why? Because you're an expert that's bringing a solution, right, or an answer to somebody. It is a business. Why? Because they will start consuming whatever you're offering them. That is a transaction that's taking place. Now, the problem is you need to grow, right? Yeah. You cannot start a business without thinking of how to grow that business. You cannot start anything without thinking of how to grow that thing, right? So here's the thing. How do you want to grow? Or should I say, where? And going back to the house again, before you buy your house, you're always looking for the neighborhood, the zip code you want to live in, right? So what zip code do you want to be? Because there's where you're going to establish and put your roots down. That's where people are going to look for you. Here's the thing. Some people, depending on the zip code that you're in, may never even meet you, or you never come across certain people in stores, or any grocery store, whatever. You never meet certain type of people unless you move to a specific zip code. Think about that, right? Your primary platform of distribution is where even if you do not distribute anywhere else, you will grow. Yeah. In other words, for my believers out there, your promised land. Where is your promised land? And here's the thing. My plan may not be yours. My platform of primary growth may not be good for you, because we may be in different industries, right? Our audience may be in different places, right? Yeah. Even though we're all using live video. So do you know where? Identify that first. Why? Identify that first. And then every single else you're doing is secondary to it, right? It's just to strategize to bring more visibility to your primary. What am I talking about? Let's say, for example, YouTube is the main platform for you. Yep. Then if you're streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, or anywhere else, you redirect the conversation to where? Your primary platform, because that's where you grow. And you give people a reason to do that, right? You let them know, hey, man, the main party is over here, right? Go ahead and pop over here. Come and ask your questions here on YouTube. Let's grow together. Yep. As a matter of fact, there are certain things that we do not even share everywhere. Every week we do that. Maybe besides your live stream, you have some clips, some videos, some tutorials and things that you do only on YouTube. Listen, they got to come there in order to locate those things. Yeah. What this is doing is giving your business a focus of impact.
That's love it.
I know there's a lot to break. That's why I say it was a loaded question. The focus of impact is what allows you to quickly impact and burn through the noise so that you can be discovered and really show what you're made of. And that is very important, because if you're just making noise at the wrong place, it will be hard for people to discover your amazing solution, and you're not going to make any return on your investment.
I love that you said that, because I have experienced the FOMO, right? The fear of missing out, when sometimes somebody's going live and I see them commenting, or they're highlighting comments, and here's what they do. They're like, okay, they're only popping up the YouTube comments, and I'm on Facebook and I'm talking, and I'm kind of like, why are they not populating my comment? And so they're like, yeah, the party's over here on YouTube, and they're saying hello to all the people on YouTube. So I'm like, you know what, let me log out of Facebook, let me go over to YouTube. And then when I get there, they're like, hey, Robert, how you doing? So, sneaky, whatever you want to call it, but strategic, because you've claimed you planted your flag, and you're like, hey, This is my priority. So you're going live in multiple places, but as you're going live or as you're putting video in multiple places, you're still identifying, hey, y'all, I live in Pittsburgh. You might be watching from Nashville, Tennessee, but I live in Pittsburgh. You want to get close to me, you got to make the drive up to Pittsburgh, because that's where we having the party. Matter of fact, we're cooking barbecue right now in the backyard. You want to be a part of the party? Come on, drive over to my neighborhood so that you can you can get some of this stuff. Oh my gosh, we got some people in the comments that are
let's go.
Toro McNeil. I love it. Thank you, brother. Yeah.
All right. Good, man.
Yeah, Kelly saying these are great prompts to put in ChatGPT. Oh, my dude, Chris Stone, what's going on? Glad you're here, my friend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what time is it? Oh, we got maybe about 6 or 7 more minutes. So we've been talking about how to grow business, and I want to put 3 comments on the screen, or 3 topics on the screen. Dr. Ranelli, good to see you. 3 topics on the screen that I was going to discuss, and then we'll walk through them really quickly. So we're talking about business growth. Wrong screen. We're talking about business growth here, right? But I want to have people have some growth actions, and I'm just going to put them up really quickly, and then we'll talk about those. So number 1 is, I want you to show up on video weekly. I want you to show up on video weekly. Choose a day. For me, that day is Monday. Typically, I show up on my Monday morning show, and then every other week we're doing this podcast on Tuesday evenings. We'll get to the place where we'll do it weekly. But I want you to choose a day and show up on video weekly. Second thing I want you to do is use your video to pitch yourself. I'm going to come back to the screen for this one. Use the video to pitch yourself. So we do this, or we talk about a topic that I know is pertinent to a specific niche of people. We talk about an idea that solves a specific problem in a specific industry, but I want to speak to that industry. So now I chop up the video, I repurpose it, and I send that video to somebody that can hire me to speak, or somebody that is looking to purchase a product or to solve a specific problem. But I've sent them a video. Hey, here's my top 3 tips for solving this particular problem. Right? So I'm using the video to pitch. Talk to me about that right there, man.
Man, you have no idea how powerful this is, right? I've met so many amazing creators, right, that do podcasts specifically, that forget that they have to pitch themselves. They have to pitch their expertise every single time. I always tell them, I understand you may have been using video for 2 years, for example, right? Hypothetically, right? 2 years, right? But I may have discovered you today.
Right.
So if you've gotten tired of pitching yourself or reiterating who you are, what you do, and how you can help folks, I may not even know who you are. And not everyone will take the time to go back and watch every single one of your videos. So here's the thing, got to tell yourself, this episode, remember on television, right? Every single episode of a show that you like always have an intro. The same intro plays every single time, and the closing always plays every single time, right? Why is that? Why didn't they just start the episode? As a matter of fact, they go as far as having a recap of what happens previously in the same episode this happened. Why? Because it is human nature to forget. Statistics tells us that whenever you've been in a meeting, right, the average person can only retain about 10% of the information that was shared.
Yes.
10%.
Yes.
So if it's only 10%, repetition is key. That's what teachers will tell you. My wife, she's a college professor. She says all the time, you got to repeat yourself. You can't be tired. You can't be worried. You can't feel like I'm too salesy. Listen, set the proper expectation with your audience, right? And you don't have to be salesy about it. Just practice. You know, I do it all the time. As a matter of fact, for the folks that are new to the episode, let me just remind you, man, we do this every single X, right? We do this every single week. We come here and this is what we talk about, right? To help you create, impact, and innovate. Things like that. So if you want to learn how to grow your business, leverage your content creation, let's connect here every single week. Go ahead and subscribe because this is what we do. Now let's continue the conversation. See what I just did is natural, but it's my elevator pitch when it comes down to what? Pitching myself.
Yep.
Whenever I'm live on video. And that is important for us to do, right? And one thing before I take it, I give it back to you, my brother, is I want to say this thing. Weekly is the minimum in this year that we live in today. Again, out of sight, out of mind. So once a week is the minimum. But don't just show up once a week without setting the proper expectation. That's dangerous. Because if I cannot expect to see you on a specific regular schedule, you cannot expect me to show up or to make time to come and follow you. You first need to set up that expectation so I can know, right? Because people are busy, so I can clear my calendar or at least tell myself I'm not available for the live stream. But because it does that every Monday, how many of us will miss a live TV show and know that the replay, the on-demand version, will be available for me to go watch later? And you even add that to your schedule. Like, oh, it's going to stream on Monday night at 7 p.m. I'm not available until 10. I'm going to catch the on-demand version. Or on Tuesday, I'm going to add that to it. That's the same thing because at least they know new episode is dropped every Monday. That's what you got to set up and remind folks every single time. And that is natural for growth.
Let me add another slight hack and layer to that. One of the tools that I use in my business is Restream. People talk about StreamYard, people talk about other things. I use Restream. Here's why. Restream is one of the only platforms that allows me to schedule previously recorded video and stream it like it's live. So here's what happens. So I've been recording my Monday morning show for like 2 years, showing up almost every Monday. And sometimes there was a Monday, if I was speaking or if I was tired or I couldn't do it. What I learned to start doing was, hold on, let me take an old episode and recast it. And then sometimes I might be there just typing in the comments to respond to people. And so you might say, why would anybody come to watch an old episode? Or why would anybody watch a replay episode? Can't they just go find it in your stuff? Sometimes they're not in the searching mindset at that moment. And so I've had people say to me, oh my gosh, I'm glad you had that episode today. I needed to hear that. They were just doing a drive-by. They were scrolling social media and they saw me. They're like, oh, let me hear what Robert's got to say today. Let me hear what RK3 is up to today. And I'm playing a previously recorded video. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's what I needed today. They weren't in research mode. They were just in drive-by mode. And there you go. What I was sharing caused them to stop.
I do that all the time.
And it was on the replay.
I use Restream. I use Restream all the time because it's the only solution that allows you to do that without you having to be there. Schedule it. You can go on vacation because life happens. But Restream allows you to continue that scheduling, continue showing up, which is amazing. You can batch record and you can broadcast it live. Now, another hack I'm going to add to that. For the folks that are like, oh, man, I don't want to use Restream, man. I'm already paying for Ecamm. I understand. I got you, right? I got you. With Ecamm, the beauty of it is you can also broadcast a pre-recorded video live. And you can set it where at the end of the live of the video, right, the live ends. So you don't have to, and I've done this several times. So you don't have to sit in front of the computer. You just need to be there to start the live stream. Right? You can start it. Let's say it's an hour. You got to go somewhere, but you pre-recorded the show already. Pop it in Ecamm. Start the broadcast, set it up to end at the end of the video, the live will end, and go run your errands and everything, and you're good to go. So you can use Ecamm as well to do that. For the folks that are like, I don't want Restream, there you go. That's another hack for you.
And so for those of you that are business owners, the next level that I'll share with this is if you are doing that, what you can do then is if you have a virtual assistant or somebody on your team, you hit the play button, you go about your business, and you have your assistants in the chat responding to comments, because here's what people want. They want to feel seen. They want to feel connected with, right? It's one thing for them to invest their time to come and sit and listen and watch and put their information or their thoughts in the comments. But they also want to feel like, wow, JP's paying attention to me. Robert's paying attention to me, right? And so there is, if you have a member of your team, and they don't necessarily even need to act like they're you. They can just say, you know, Robert's team. We're so glad that you're here. But people just want to be seen, heard, felt, touched, and responded to. And so that's another way to create engagement with your previously recorded videos as well. And this is a great way to repurpose or use information, video information, speaking information that you are not necessarily doing on the spot and in the moment. So, man, this has been a fantastic conversation. Let me see. I know Ranelli's saying, yep, I love this conversation. Chris is like, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I just used that as an example. The P kind of rolled off my tongue, dude. That's what that was. Yeah, but I'm in Maryland, for those of you that are wondering. I didn't move to Pittsburgh. Yeah. But listen, y'all, this has been a phenomenal episode. And our surprise guest, JP High-Tech, joined the show to drop some knowledge. Where can they find you, man? Where do they need to go to get your stuff? I want to have them find you not just at the JP High-Tech video stuff, but let's get your hip hop stuff some love too. Tell us.
All right, family. I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, listen. You can find me online, right? The handle is at JPHIGHTEK. Find me anywhere, man, on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of that, man. I'm a global branding and media expert. But here's the thing. I'm also a best-selling author. And as of lately, I'm an independent gospel Christian rap artist as well. And I said yes to an assignment that God put on my heart. And that's what I'm doing right now. But here's the thing, family. If you want to also leverage your content creation to grow your business, I do have my podcast as well. It's called Content Creators University. We meet every week as well. Go ahead, you can visit the website contentcreatorsuniversity.com or just my website jphightech.com. Let's connect. I love connecting that because that's the new currency today. I appreciate you, man, having me on your show today. Impromptu,
Yes,
but very, very needed. God bless.
God bless. Thank you so much, man. Listen, everybody, you want to get connected with us in the story, speaking, and sales growth community, head on over to learnwithrk3.com/3S community. And we're going to be jumping over there shortly to do our Action Arena deep dive. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.